Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Derwent. As you can see, the sun is starting to come up. We are on the Derwent, and in the frame of this beautiful sunrise is Celestial, the Volvo 70. You can see Willow on the main. That is what it was formerly known of. It's known as. It's been charted. Few waves here, ladies and gents, as we get into the fray. It's a little bit windy here today on the Derwent, but glorious scenes of this boat that's coming in hot, leading on IRC, some margin. Sam in the helm, Greenhow, as well as full other ocean specialists. Beautiful Volvo. Ericsson done a few laps of the copy. Here, guys, just getting ourselves into position. Quite breezy. We're doing 12 knots of boat speed into some sea state out on this side. They're liking the right hand side of the Derwent at the moment. Sun beautiful in the background. Probably 15 to 16 knots of breeze. Oh, look at the sky behind them, absolutely stunning. The waves are quite choppy here without the traffic. That is why it's quite bouncy up on the bow for Amelia. She's locked in. The tide is also ripping out. We had some of the highest tide that I've seen in Constitution Dock when we went in to see Law Connect. It was absolutely crazy. I've never seen the tide so high, and that's now stacking up with some very steep chop. But this Volvo 70 is taking it all in its stride. Now, I had a chat to Tony Muda and Brad Jackson on the shore. You will see our highlights from on the dock with Law Connect very soon. They said it was some very, very weird swell out there. Some of the messiest swell that they've seen. In fact, to the point where the boat wasn't actually fitting nicely in between the wavelengths, which is why the boat was slowing down and accelerating so much. And that is what proved to be difficult for some of these boats. I am just to position here. Look on attack any block. Tack over and get ready. Just peel away here. Straight onto the waves, Mills. Hold on. Woof, this chop is absolutely gnarly. We're doing 13 knots of boat speed. This Volvo is absolutely macking. I'm sure if you are checking the tracker, you'll see they're doing 14 to 15 knots. Frank O'Leary on the bow. As I mentioned, Rob Greenhouse, Payno on board, along with Parko, who's done a few laps with as well. team. Just stunning. You can see they've got a reef in as well, so they're well depowered. They've just, all they have to do is get this boat across the line. They will be clubhouse leaders. You can see probably the swell coming off that media boat that's inside of us. It's very rough. It is really similar actually to when Giacomo finished the Hobart a number of years ago, the Volvo 70. It's also similar to when this boat finished about 2 years ago when we saw Stefan's J2 absolutely explode into smithereens. Same wind direction, straight off the land, straight down off Mount Wellington. It's quite chilly. Big wave. We're about a mile from the finish now, coming up alongside and the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania. Again, a shout out to the Royal Yacht Club. You can see Big Mick on the rib just inside of us. They've been incredibly helpful as per usual to help with our coverage. Doing 11 knots now just to windward of this amazing craft. I'm going to try really hard to get across their bow and sit to windward of them as they come into the finish. Looks like they're trying to do one and in, getting over to this side of the ride. Looks like some of the media boats have actually pulled out a bit, so this sea state's flattening out over on this right-hand shore, which is lovely. We'll get in a little bit tighter for you now, just to say a little bit of a hello. They are raising money for Assistance Dogs Australia as well as part of this campaign, which is just spectacular, thanks to Sam Haynes' business, which is the Sydney Veterinary Hospitals. You can see it on the side there. Oh, how gorgeous is this? They are smoking along here. We are doing 13 knots of boat speed. For those who may have just joined us, we're with the Volvo 70, formerly Ericsson, formerly Willow, currently racing as Celestial as a charter from Jim Cooney to Sam Haynes, and they are motoring into the finish. Yep. Got Big Mick on my windward hip. Oh, slowing down a little bit here, getting lighter on this shore. Would not be surprised if we don't see a attack very soon. So I'm going to extend forward. Yep, copy. Got Rob Douglas at the back saying they're getting ready, so we're just going to accelerate, let them tack behind us. Waves on. Waves on. Yep. Tacking Amelia. Tacking Amelia. There you go. Good job. Oof. Definitely lightened off in this patch, guys. We're down to 8 knots. Like they had an interesting tack there, perhaps some gnarly waves from the spectator boats that are escorting them home, given that this is a pretty serious finish for these guys. They will be in the box seat. Law Connect sitting in a really good spot on IRC at the moment as well. They'll be in second when these guys finish, and then it's everybody else who has to try and beat some times coming in. Who would have thought I was literally just chatting with the core crew from Law Connect on the shore, and who would have thought that Law Connect could do well on IRC. They were laughing about the fact that, oh, she's fully optimised for IRC. No, that is not the case at all. Oh, just glorious. Not sure if we're on lay. There'll probably be another tack in this, but I just wanted to make sure that we were lined up for the finish. Just gorgeous. Much better angle for the waves here, Mills. If you want to stand up and get into some squats for me, that'd be amazing. Brilliant. There's a tinny ripping along on our hip, which is just hilarious. Different people out at different times of the day. Not as many boats as when we came out earlier. But, oh, it's so much better with some sun in the sky, isn't it? It is hard to do coverage at night time. It's a challenging sport to cover in general. Still got that reef in. It's unbelievable how well this boat has sailed. It's done so well in the rough conditions. It shows you what the wave state was like out here, that this Volvo 70 has managed to stand the test and perform on IRC. It does have to be a bit of a screamer for the Volvo to perform, but also it's managed to stay together. I think the golden rule of yacht racing is that, you know, you've got to nurse your asset through sometimes, and as we know, it's unfortunate that we have to think and you know, I don't want to say that it's not something that we'll always remember for the rest of our lives, but it's really tough to think that this race will have that memory of people passing away, because nobody wants to see that. But at the same time, it is an ocean race. Sam Haynes is the Commodore of the Cruising Yacht Club of Australia. That is why the rear Commodore has been stepping in terms of being a spokesperson. So I'm sure he'll have a lot to say once they get to the dock about just what this race means to them. And it's incredibly difficult. The mood on the dock was very, very different to normal. Few waves here, Mills, when this boat goes past. Big waves. Yep. Just going down for a little bit here, and we're going to let the boat come past us. Few waves here, team. Oh, what a shot. Great work, Mills. Yep. Yep, I'm trying to get up. Big header here. They're actually luffing, and there's a boat right on their hip, so that was in between us and the boat. Looks like they're shaking the reef out. In fact, that's why that sail was luffing. Just took a little bit of a luff there to make sure they could get that reef up. They're pushing here now. It is light. They are in the dirt. No alarms. Right off their hip. David Chapman up the back. Alex Nolan on nav, having a little bit of a look at ley lines. I can see him in the yellow. Main coming on now. They'll start to arc up. We're going to try and stay on the wake of this big rib here, all the way into the finish. Right Bless you. Great job. Let's keep his legs bending, gorgeous. She's doing a great job on the bow here, guys. It is rough. Rob Douglas in the background. My dad is on board. This is his first Hobart finish. He's done the start with me for 13 years. But we've brought him down to the finish and he's saying, wow, that's good racing. When you're coming into the finish and you're like, let's shake that reef out. Let's give this a real shunt. So it's like they're getting a little bit of a header as well. Everyone up on the rail. Sam is on the helm. Great to see. Gosh, imagine if Payno can add to his year. I had a bit of a chat to Luke Payne. If you haven't seen it before the start in the dock walk, recommend you going back and having a look at the dock walk. Actually, I spent a bit of time with this team before the start. Payno this year has sailed with the Rockwool Sail GP team, the Danish team. He has won a number of match racing events with Chris Poole and Riptide Racing. He has additionally won the 505 World Championship and the China Middle Sea Race. Imagine adding an IRC win in the Rolex Sydney Hobart as well. Just fantastic. Rob Douglas, may you just pop that green flag out for me, because that's the cot boat. Just got a cot boat on our tail. Just pop our green flag out. Not sure if it's us or the tinny they're shining a light on, but copy. Is a media boat with a green and red flashing light. Oh, that's for the drone. Rightio. Little bit of a header here now. About a nautical mile from the finish, doing 12 knots in about the same of breeze. Yeah, copy. Yeah, we've got a tinny on our hip, a media boat on our tail. Everyone just popping their head out. Wolf, just saw Wolfie pop his head through the rails. See Rob Greenhouse as well, just talking to Sam. Want to ease this puppy home. Oh, look at her. I could go some jib halyard just quietly. Yeah. I can see Chapo on the rail with a grin on his face. Looks like he's lost his hat. It's like a little bit of a lull here. They're going to keep going, I think. The best course of action is to go all the way to the other side of the river. They're just taking it easy. Gosh, she looks pretty. Little wave from Chapo there. They're done beautifully. Rough race. Big waves here, Mills. You got it. I have to get her on the step machine. Oh, this sun is going to come up just as they hit the dock. Wild Thing 100's not far behind either, so could be a busy day for the team. Got a bit of work to do. I've definitely got a tack in this to get to the finish line, so I'll just make sure that we pull back a little bit. And yeah, big lift. bit of gust. But we're just going to pull back a little bit, come a bit wider, just so that these guys can be ready for attack when that happens. I'm guessing in about a minute's time, maybe a little bit more. Yep. Doing about 12 knots of boat speed. Few waves coming, guys. Ready and wave. Yep. Big lull as we come in towards Mount Wellington here. We've dropped all the way down to 6 knots here. I still think they're going to try and go all the way to that shore. It's very slow to tack these things, and they will get a lift as they head into the shore here on starboard. A big line of pressure. There's actually a chopper up in the air too. Everyone knows this is a big deal for the 79th edition of this race. Rolex boat just popping in to get their snaps. Beautiful light starting to come on to the boat now. Just stunning. We're on lay for the finish now. They are just off lay. So they will tack to finish. So we'll peel. Hopefully this tinny can give us space, and we'll peel and go to that finish mark. I want to make sure that you guys see when this boat crosses the line. Oh, the clouds are going pink up above Mount Wellington right now. Absolutely stunning. We're just going to keep inching this tinny to the right, I think. Or we'll go behind its stern. Bit of a header there and a lull. Wondering whether they'll do more than one tack. I think they're just going to hold right over to this shore, because the wind does stick to this left-hand shore. So I think they'll go all the way. We're going to go line up for the finish now. I think everybody's sort of thinking the same. We'll even go behind this tinny. Not something you say often when you're covering yacht racing. Just watch out for this tinny. There's the Royal Yacht Club of Tasmania in the background behind the Volvo 70 as they head towards the finish. Oh, just stunning. Another tack to come, and we're going to line up with the finish boat, or the finish mark as it is. And a big shout out to all of the volunteers who are helping to run the finish. There's an immense team of them out of Tasmania, and they are manning this finish 24/7. They're in the finish booth over on the other side. The 79th edition of the race will come in for their final tack very, very soon. And we'll line up just past finish line so everyone can get the shot. Here, that tack over now onto port. They did go all the way to that shore as predicted. And they'll pick up this left-hander as they come in Oh, and there is the finish line. As you can see, we are lined up as the sun starts to tickle those Rolex tetrahedrons with a little bit of sunshine. It wasn't long ago that Law Connect crossed for line honours. This Volvo 70 will come in second. One of few maxis still racing, and they are in the box seat. Celestial, or Team Celestial, did win the Rolex Sydney Hobart overall just a few years ago, and this is incredibly special to see them bringing it home now. We're going to go forward just a little bit so that you can see the line. And there it is. Beautiful shots, beautiful scenes. And Celestial, the Volvo 70, crosses the finish line. They are the clubhouse leaders for the 79th edition, which many of us will never forget. Hugs between Parko and Greenhouse there. Greenhouse on the wheel, Alex, fist bumps, lots of hugs on board. This will be emotional. There's Sam, right on the back corner. Alex with the yellow arms and Greenhouse congratulating one another. This team has done a lot together. Parko won the Volvo Ocean race with Abu Dhabi Ocean Racing on a Volvo 65. And of course they won the Rolex Sydney Hobart. There's Chapo giving Greenhouse a big shake. There's Chapo on the back. Hugs with Alex Nolan, the navigator. Payno. Oh, there's Parko. Big hugs at the back. Love these guys. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap. I think we have to go grab some fenders. You can see Rob Greenhouse on the helm there with his Matt Frey wet weather kit on. He's done a number of Volvos. Lots of ocean racing experience on board. And there's Sam on the back corner, current CYCA Commodore and current clubhouse leader. Look at that sunrise in the background. And there is Celestial. What a race.